Oh, hello. Short video today. We're talking about dads in recovery. And dads, are you a father? I guess, I mean, everybody has a father, and maybe your father was an addict or an alcoholic, and maybe he wasn't, and maybe you are a father and you are in recovery as an addict or an alcoholic, and that's kind of who I'm talking to. Um, it's a, I've been, I guess, for many years, I've been working with men in recovery, and just this last while, I've been focusing on supporting men who are fathers in recovery. Men who are recovering from addiction and alcoholism, who are fathers. And wow, it's amazing. I mean, how important is dad? If you're a dad, I think that often men in recovery downplay their role. They say, I got a good mom, I should be fine. And man, oh man, what I'm seeing is it's so important. It's so important. And guys, a lot of men who didn't have, a great relationship with their dad, and some men who didn't have, an active dad at all, just don't get it. They're like, they don't even have any friggin' idea how important their job is, to their children. Now, when I talk to these fellas, and I talk to a lot of them, they're adamant that well, yeah, I'm in. And I said, well, great. How often do you see her? Well, hmm, once a week. Yeah, once a week. And bullshit, that's not doing it. Well, do you call her every day? No. I'm talking about their daughter, right? Do you call her every day? No. We try to talk once a week. I don't always miss. Well, dad is so important. Damn, I just don't know how to express this any more than that. And so many of us really have no friggin' idea how to do the job. And so that's my job, is to support you in showing up, you know, in realizing that you don't know. That's the thing, and I work with guys, and I do this little pie chart. In the pie chart, there's the things that we know, that we're pretty sure we know, about this job of being a dad. Then there's the things we kind of know that we don't know. Then there's a whole big shitload of things that we don't know that we don't know. And I'm telling you, I don't know it all, but I know because I've been a dad in recovery for many years, and I have grandchildren now, and it's worked. Like I did show up, maybe not enough, but somehow it seems to have worked. I've got three great kids that are, happy to see me and spend time with me, and I'm very blessed. And it's kind of what gives me the right to actually talk about this subject. That it's worked. And I married to two wonderful women, and who are still very, I'm friends with, and spend time with. So anyway, dads in recovery, where's the benchmark? And so this message is for you guys. And time in, how much time do I spend with my daughter and my son? How many times do I talk to them? I have a buddy that is not living in the same town as his kids, and so he went and bought them. He has three boys. He went and bought them all their own phones so that they could be communicating every day. Because he's not there, they've got their own phones and they're texting dad, like, often. And so they have FaceTime, not once in a while, but on an ongoing basis. He's doing the best he can, considering they're not living in the same town. And then, of course, he spends time with them, like they come and spend time with him. But so you've got to be creative. And if you're in a situation too where maybe you have what's called visitation, you're not actually able to spend time with them, man, you got to repair that relationship with their mom. No questions asked. That relationship has got to be repaired. Trust has been broken, right? And if she was attracted to you in the first place, she's got some healing to do. You have to take that into consideration. You have to recognize that we're not all well, and step 4, prayer on resentment. And find your way back into, really caring about that human being, the mother of your kids. No more important woman on the planet than the mother of your kids. So that's my deal today. Just if you're a dad in recovery, a father who wants to, really do a better job and show up hands on, and and you're not really sure what that looks like, where do you go? There isn't, you go talk to a professional. I'm suggesting you come and talk to me, because I have the experience and I've done research. I'm actually interviewing right now 50 women who have married or had children with men who are in recovery. And many of them weren't in recovery when they had the children. They're addicts practicing, So what am I learning from those women? A lot. And I've interviewed and talked to over 100 men since I started this project, and it's amazing. So that's the deal. That's the spiel. And get in touch with me. I'd love to know your opinion. I mean, do you have an opinion on this? I mean, it's just this like this sacred job. Nobody says, hey, you're doing a shit job. Nobody says that. Nobody says that. It's like you don't talk about somebody's parenting, right? Even the law doesn't say, hey, you got to spend some time with your kid. They say you got to pay the bill. Paying the bill isn't the deal. I mean, that's important, but it's, so nobody says this. Nobody, there's no place where you can go to get some accountability talk, in spending time with your kids. So I'm here to share with you that if you want to talk to somebody and say, to kind of get a feel for, am I really doing the job? Let's talk, that's it. Want to get your ass kicked a bit? I'll kick it for you and help you to become that dad. What could be more important? Here's the number one thing that men have said, and I've talked to so many now. What do you want? What's your greatest fear about your kids? And over and over again, the greatest fear is that my kids will be an addict or an alcoholic as well. That's the fear. So if you're not there now, are you going to be there when the disease comes knocking on their door? No. If you don't have that trusted relationship now, when are you going to get it? And you can't get it by not. You got to spend time with them. Period. Full stop. You got to spend time with them. So that's my message today. Love you guys, and let's talk. I'm doing a course coming up starting in September, on the Tuesday in September. I think that's the 14th or something like that. And yeah, let me see. When is that in September? I think it's the 14th. Tuesday, the 13th of September, we're going to start. So it's an 8-week program I'm going to run. And so you get to mix with some other men who are dads in recovery. And, where do you get feedback? Going to give you some feedback. Okay. Love you guys. Let's talk. Cheers.